Today in the show, we're going to be talking about Bart Allen. If you didn't know that he was a member of the New Titans before he was a member of Young Justice, and then he was a member of the Teen Titans, then this show is for you. So Bart would first appear in Flash number 91 in June 1994. So Bart is from the future. He is actually Barry Allen's grandson, and he was born with a connection to the Speed Force, which actually came with a number of issues. The core of all of these issues was that Bart's metabolism was super fast. So by the time Bart was chronologically 2 years old, he was physically 12 years old. To keep his mind and body in sync and so he didn't develop a major mental disorder, he was placed in a virtual reality. But the thing about being raised in a virtual reality is that you don't learn any risks, you don't learn the repercussions of all of your actions, which meant Bart was very sheltered. Seeing no other choice, Bart's grandmother took him back in time so he could have a race with Wally West, the current Flash, around the world, and this shocked Bart's metabolism back into a normal pace. This being said, Bart really couldn't be raised by Wally. You see, the thing is, Bart was a handful, too much for Wally to handle. So Bart was raised by Max Mercury, another speedster. Soon Bart would join the New Titans and he would also meet Superboy, and then soon after this, he would meet Robin when the two of their schools went on skiing trips. The three of them grew very, very close, so it was only natural that the three of them would become the founding members of the team Young Justice. It's actually in Young Justice where Bart was able to develop his powers even further. He was able to create Speed Force duplicates of himself, so he was able to be conscious in multiple locations at once, a lot like being alive with one mind in like 5 bodies. Now this sounds really cool and all well and good, but one time Young Justice would get stranded on Apocalypse in the Our Worlds at War event. Bart would create a Speed Force duplicate of himself and the duplicate would get killed, meaning Bart experienced his own death. The shock of experiencing his own mortality made Bart quit being a hero for some time. I mean, he learnt the hard way that you just make one wrong move and that's it, it's over. What made matters even worse was soon after this, Max Mercury would disappear, which meant Bart had to move in with Jay Garrick, the original Flash. Then graduation day would come about, and by this point, if you watched a lot of my other videos, you know this story. Graduation day was a crossover between Young Justice and the Titans, and it would cause the death of Omen and Donna Troy, and it would affect the members of Young Justice so badly that Young Justice would split up. Following this, Starfire, Beast Boy and Cyborg would all create a weekends-only Teen Titans in training, and they would invite all the kids from Young Justice. That was such a sweet thing for Starfire, Beast Boy and Cyborg to do, but then Jericho possessing Deathstroke came along and ruined everything. Jericho would shoot Bart in the knee, causing him to need a prosthetic knee. But Bart is a very special speedster. You see, not only can Bart move at speeds that are near light, he can kind of use this to manipulate time in relative to himself. What I mean is Bart had the ability to, say like 10 seconds passes for all of us. Bart had the ability to age 2 years in that 10 seconds and experience that full 2 years. And that's exactly what Bart did. While he was waiting for his knee to heal, he made 2 years pass for himself, and in that 2 years, he read every single book in the San Francisco library. Then, when he started going at a normal pace once again, he stopped using the mantle impulse and started going by Kid Flash. Soon the Titans would be sent forward in time to help the Legion, and then after this adventure was over, they would be sent back in time, but they wouldn't be sent the full way. They would be sent into their own future. This future was dark. The Titans made sure there was no villain activity, but they did so with fear, and they killed people. And the Titans had also taken on all of their adult version mantles. For example, Robin had become Batman, Superboy had become Superman, and Wonder Girl had become Wonder Woman, but in the case of Raven, she had become Dark Raven. Bart, however, in this future was very special once again. He was spying on these Dark Titans. Cyborg had set up a resistance group against these Titans called the Titans East, and Bart was actually a member of the Titans East spying on these evil Titans. It's thanks to the combined efforts of the Titans East and all of the Teen Titans that the Teen Titans were able to make it back in time safely. I really liked this storyline because it used a lot of really weird concepts that you wouldn't normally expect in a Teen Titans comic, like the Cosmic Treadmill. The Cosmic Treadmill, for all of you that don't know, is essentially a treadmill that allows speedsters to travel in time. So now we're at Infinite Crisis, which is actually a very key part for Bart's character, but so many people that are new to comics don't know about it. So Superboy Prime would end up killing and hurting a lot of the Titans, and Bart was furious. So he, Wally, and Jay would all use their speedster powers together to run Superboy Prime into the Speed Force, but this was too much for Jay to handle, so he gave up before he made it into the Speed Force. While in the Speed Force, Wally would vanish, leaving Bart on his own, but then, out of nowhere, Barry, Max Mercury, and Johnny Quick, who had all previously vanished, ended up turning up and helping Bart out. All of their combined efforts resulted in a 4-year-long prison for Superboy Prime until he broke out. Bart obviously had to make it back to Earth before Superboy Prime, so he used Wally's ring and Barry's costume to bring all of the Speed Force into himself. Bart arrived just in time to take part in the Battle of Metropolis and help Superman out. And then after Infinite Crisis, Bart would explain to Jay that there was no more Speed Force. It didn't exist anymore. Bart would give Barry's costume to Jay and set out in making a regular life for himself. However, Bart was kind of lying. He knew the Speed Force was inside of himself, he just didn't know how to use his powers exactly anymore. But when his new roommate ended up developing powers and ended up becoming the Griffin, he had no choice but to become the Flash. Eventually the Rogues would team up, and one of the members of the Rogues was Bart's nemesis, Inertia. And the Rogues had built a machine that had the ability to stop time. So Bart would obviously turn up to stop the Rogues, but when he turned up, it turned out the machine didn't stop time, it stripped a person of the Speed Force, and a whole mess of things would happen, but it turned out the machine could not handle the Speed Force, and Bart had to sacrifice himself to save the lives of millions. Bart's death was particularly hard for me, not only because I've been following Impulse since Impulse #1, but because his death was an editorial decision, not an artistic decision, meaning no one actually wanted Bart's death to happen. The death just seemed so forced and out of place, and it broke the hearts of thousands of fans. Fortunately, in Final Crisis Legion of Three Worlds, Bart would be brought back to life as a teenager again and as Kid Flash. He was brought back with the combined efforts of Brainiac 5, the Lightning Rod, the Lightning Lads, and the Lightning Lasses. Then Superboy would be brought back by the Legion, and the two of them would be returned to the present, and when they arrive in the present, Superman would reintroduce them to the Titans and the Teen Titans. But upon Bart's arrival back in the present, he realized a lot of things have changed since he'd been dead. First off, Wally wasn't the Flash anymore. Barry Allen was back, and Bart loved Wally to pieces. He didn't want to work with Barry Allen, he wanted to work with Wally West. It also didn't help that Barry was the only speedster to escape the Speed Force, meaning Max Mercury, Bart's mentor, was still nowhere to be seen. But it would soon be revealed that Barry was the next Black Flash, which is a horrible thing to be. So Barry saw no other choice other than to put himself in the Speed Force to keep all the other speedsters safe. Wally would go into the Speed Force to try and get Barry back, and Bart asks Wally to also bring back Max Mercury. Then Linda calls up and tells Bart and Jay that the Reverse Flash has turned up. Bart goes to their aid, and the fight does not go in his favor at all, and he is seconds away from being killed when Max Mercury, Wally, and Barry all turn up to save his life. So now we have a large group of speedsters versus the Reverse Flash, and obviously the Reverse Flash did not stand a chance. And then after this fight, Wally's daughter Iris manifests a connection to the Speed Force and becomes the new Impulse. Naturally, Blackest Night would come about, and because Bart was once dead, the Black Rings were able to transform him into a Black Lantern. But all was not lost. You see, Barry had actually been chosen to become a Blue Lantern, so Barry attempted to use his Blue Lantern abilities to turn Bart back to normal. But Barry would soon realize that it's not the rings that had the ability to turn Bart back to normal, it was their mutual connection to the Speed Force. So Barry uses the Speed Force with all of his ability, and it works. The ring is destroyed and Bart is freed. Soon after this, Cyborg would ask Bart and Superboy to help out the Titans rescue a boy named Static from a gangster called Holocaust. The Titans essentially failed in the battle against Holocaust, so Bart and Superboy saw no other choice other than to defeat Holocaust and join the Titans once again. So Bart and Superboy moved back into the Titans Tower and were officially Titans once again. And soon after this, the New 52. Now, unlike my other videos where I say if you want to know about the New 52, just go and read comics in the New 52, I've actually done a video going over the Teen Titans issue by issue in the New 52. So if you want to know Bart's history in the New 52, do read the comics, but also check out that video. I like Bart a lot. I think he brings a lot of fun to the Flash family. I definitely want to see more of him in the New 52. Maybe like a new Bart, and it could be like Bartor was his clone. That would be interesting. The thing that I liked about Bart was that he was unpredictable in comparison to Wally or Barry. Like, I've always felt like Wally and Barry's personalities just kind of merged over the years and they kind of became similar people. But Bart was always Bart. I would like to see a series of him on his own as Impulse once again, but I would not like to write it, but I would like to write him in the Titans. I don't know, he's such a fun character for interactions with other characters, so I think he would be so much fun to write in that respect, which is why I think I would enjoy writing him in a group environment.
It's super effective!
Okay guys, that is it for today. If you think I forgot anything important about Bart Allen, please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more history, and also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking out my Patreon so I can make bigger and better videos when I hit that A-list character goal, and subscribe to my gaming channel. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.